I just came to figure out that when nobody wants you, somebody needs you, and that person might be the least you expected. I raised my hand and wiped her tears gently with my thumb. I don't want my baby crying. I arranged her hair and lifted her face. She closed her eyes and tears gushed out. Me Rosa, she opened her eyes. Me stop crying. Rosa, I'm not crying. I'm shedding tears. I chuckled. Me either way, I don't want it. You don't look pretty anymore. She chuckled and I wiped her face totally with the handkerchief I pulled out. She smiled and hugged me. I sighed and stroked her back. Rosa, I love you, bad boy. I pulled her up. Me, please repeat it. Rosa, I love you. I found myself smiling. Me, what should I say now? She hit my chest. Me, OWW, and it didn't even hurt. But I just felt like saying it. Rosa, say you love me too. Me, I can't pronounce them. Can you write them in Hangul for me? Rosa, you're such a nerd. Me, nerds are intelligent, Rosa, but weird. Me, ha ha ha, come here. I pulled her and turned her around, then encircled my hands on her waist and placed my head gently on her shoulder. Me, we should take pictures. I brought out my phone and took 2 shots. Me, you're more photogenic than I am. She chuckled and tucked her hair behind her ear. I disengaged from her and stood before her. Me, let me snap you this way. She smiled a little and I took the shot. Me, and she's cute, Rosa, ha ha, come on. Let me snap you back. She took the phone from me, then we exchanged positions. She took the shots and instead of showing me, she hugged the phone to her chest and ran inside. Me, hey, I followed her and entered the living room, but I didn't see her. Did she go upstairs? I wanted to check the kitchen when I felt a kick on my back. I staggered forward. Then I heard Rosa giggling. I looked back and saw her with the phone in her hand and her leg on the cushion. She was looking at me with innocent eyes as if she wasn't the one who kicked me. Me, you? I'm gonna deal with you. I raced up to her, but she ran and went upstairs. I raced up the stairs and saw her entering her room. I smirked and walked to the door. I opened it and walked in. Rosa was lying under her blanket, on her bed with her eyes closed. Me, you can't fool me. You know she didn't reply and didn't move. I walked to the bed and yanked the blanket off of her. Rosa, hey, I climbed the bed and removed my shoes. I stretched my legs and hands. Rosa, get off me. Rosa, why were you crying earlier? She frowned. I sat up. Me, I wanna know, Rosa, because what you said was so emotional. No one ever said that to me. And no one ever made me feel so special. I smiled and drew her close. Me, I'm really happy I know you. Rosa, do you know what I think about you? Me, no, tell me. I wanna know. She looked up at my face. Rosa, I think you're the most loving man in Korea. But you show your love to only few people. Me, like you. I kissed her forehead. She smiled and hugged me. Me, should we go and get orange juice? Rosa, you've fallen in love with orange juice. Me, it's better than consuming alcohol. Do you want my liver to get burnt? Rosa, ha 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 ha. Are you going to stop smoking too? Me, let's not go there. I stood up and pulled her up. Rosa, piggyback ride. Me, yeah. I carried her on my back and jumped down from the bed. We went downstairs laughing while talking about old Chinese men with wrinkled skin and eyes almost covered up with flesh. Rosa, I was driving on a smooth expressway of sleep on a beautiful night. My car was having no fault and my ride was steady without bumps. There were no other cars on the road, so I could drive any way I wanted. Sometimes turning to the left and sometimes to the right. Suddenly, a huge lorry appeared in front of me and flashed a bright light on my car. I closed my eyes and screamed as our cars collided. My eyes popped open and I saw Bad Boy's face. He was holding a huge flashlight over my face. I screamed and sat up. Bad Boy, good morning. You have 5 minutes to get dressed. Then you come down to the kitchen, drink a glass of water and meet me in the gym. I rubbed my temples, my eyes were burning. Me, why do you have a flashlight? Bad Boy, don't ask questions until when asked to do so. Get up and get dressed. If I should look for you in the next 10 minutes, then you're in trouble. He turned and left the room. I rubbed my eyes and stood up. A black singlet was on my bed and a pair of black leggings were beside it. I lifted them and saw a tag with "Wear this" written on it. I sighed and walked to the bathroom. I hurriedly took a shower and got dressed in 7 minutes, instead of 5 minutes. I tied my hair in a ponytail and jogged downstairs. I took a glass of water and ran up the stairs, up to the gym. Bad Boy was standing there with the flashlight. Me, I'm here, sir. He turned and beckoned me to come. I walked to him and bowed. Bad boy, you see those lunges? Lift them 20 times. Me, that's easy. I walked and picked them up from the table. Bad boy, keep your feet apart. I stretched my legs and my feet were few steps apart. Bad boy, wider. I stretched them apart again. He nodded. Bad boy, 20. I held both lunges firmly on my right and left hand. Then I lifted my right hand without lifting my elbow up. When I brought it down, I lifted the second hand. Bad boy walked to me and shook his head. Bad boy, do it slowly. I sighed and began to lift my arms slowly with my elbow sticking to my side stomach. At first it was easy, but when I got to the 7th one, I felt like my muscles were being torn apart. I closed my eyes thinking I could endure the pain, but when I got to the 9th one, my arms were as if they were going to be removed from my elbow. Me aahh, bad boy, sssshh, 11 more to go. Immediately I finished the 10th one, my fingers let go of the lunges and I fell down. Me, oh my. Oh my. I was breathing heavily. Bad boy, get up. He helped me to stand. Me, I can't feel my hands. Bad boy, move to that one. I'll show you how to set it. I sighed and walked there. He showed me everything I needed to know and I began to do it. Anytime I got tired, he would flash the light on my face and my eyes will begin to burn. I'm still wondering what is in that light. And I can't ask questions until he asks me to ask questions. After about 2 hours of working out with about 5 times of machines, he permitted me to take breakfast. I was glad because my system was already shutting down. I walked into the kitchen with little ease and opened the fridge to bring out something to eat. I heard a feminine voice, stopping me. I looked back and saw an old Chinese lady. Lady, don't eat junk food, me, huh? Lady, step away from the fridge. I stepped away. Lady, now follow me. I followed her to the dining table. She made me sit down and uncovered plates of vegetables and Chinese food. Lady, eat this only. Then she stood at the end of the table with hands clasped together. I sighed and took my chopsticks. My fingers could hardly hold them. But I couldn't stop the food from falling out. I angrily dropped the chopsticks and used my hand to pick the cauliflower into my mouth. But before I could, I felt a sharp, painful sting on my shoulder. I looked and it was the old lady with a cane. How on earth did she come to my side so fast? Lady, be hygienic, your hands are sweaty. Pick the chopsticks now. I quickly picked them up. Bad boy, what have you gotten me into? Bad boy, me run round the house in 5 minutes, Rosa, easy. She took off and I sat on the tree bench. I pressed a remote and water sprayed out from the other side of the house. I waited for 7 minutes and Rosa was coming back from her running class. She was wet all over. Me, oh hour. What happened? Rosa, water splashed out while I was running. The force with which it came down frightened me and also got me totally wet. I even skipped. Me, rule number Rosa, if sent on a task, make sure you accomplish it. Nothing should get in your way. Not even family. Question. Rosa, and what if it gets in my way? Me, ignore it. I stood up and walked towards the driveway. Me, try and flip over through the driveway. Rosa, I'm not so good at flipping. Me, there's no failure in trying. Flip. She ran to the back then flipped forward. She flipped just once then fell down. I laughed and made her stand up. Me, lessons over. Rosa, oh thank you Jesus. She hugged the floor and kept breathing fast. 2 weeks later, Rosa. I huffed and grunted as I kicked the thing. Bad boy hung from the ceiling. I don't know the name, but I call it box me and I box you. Bad boy taught me the techniques and I'm applying them. This is the 7th thing I've done today, from jogging on trampolines, to practicing yoga and few karate that I already know. Bad boy said that as from next week, I'll stop doing much of exercise for body fitness. We'll concentrate more on kung fu and weapons. And he's going to teach me how to operate a computer and how to hack systems. I moved backwards and gave it a kick with my leg. It swung sideways and was coming back towards me with force. I dodged and held it in place because I felt someone's presence. Bad boy, she's improving. He clapped and I smirked. Me, and you had to distract me. Bad boy, I was missing you. I took a towel and wiped my sweaty face. Me, well, I wasn't missing you. Sorry bad boy, you haven't even finished your training and you're becoming this hard-hearted. I wonder what will happen if you finish it. He crossed his arms. I laughed and moved closer to him. Me, sorry. I gave him a peck on the lips and took a bottle of water to drink. Bad boy, baby, take the rest of the day off. Me, what? Why? Bad boy, don't ask questions until you're told to do so. I hummed and opened my bottled water. I gulped half of it and closed it back. Bad boy, I prepared dinner for you. I looked up at the totally cute young man. He was wearing a blue shirt and a face cap turned backwards. His shorts were white. Me, you cooked for me? He nodded. I can see bad boy really missed me. That's why he's doing all this. We're under the same roof, but we hardly behave like a couple. Always talking business, and everything about us was almost informal. When it all started, I felt really tired of all the training. I began to miss him, but I couldn't say it. It was just this week that I no longer miss him like before. Me, okay, I'm going to shower and I'll be done in a jiffy. Bad boy, can you go get some popcorn seeds? We're out of popcorn. Me, all right. I'll do that before dinner. I went to my room, showered and dressed in a black long-sleeved body hug. I wore a black mini skirt but wore a black net socks up to my thigh, and my sneakers were white. I wore a white sleeveless jacket and put on a head warmer. I took my phone and headed downstairs. Bad boy, there you are. Love the outfit. I smiled. Me, thanks bad boy. I figured out we also need potatoes. Me, okay, potatoes and popcorn seeds. He nodded. Me, all right. I'll be back sooner than you expected. Bad boy, don't take the wrong cab. I chuckled and walked out. The sun had already set and it was turning dark. I flagged down a taxi few meters into the streets and headed for the night market. I bought everything I needed, not just what bad boy asked me to buy. I walked into the streets but didn't see any cab. I kept walking but there was no sign of a taxi. I looked at the time. I don't want to keep bad boy waiting. I dropped the bag I was carrying and took my phone out to call him. Suddenly I felt a grip on my mouth. My eyes widened and I tried to pull the hands off, but they were like rock. The person began to move backwards with me. Then I remembered something bad boy taught me. If you're constrained by a person from your back, first be sure he's not carrying any weapon. Then use your elbow to kick him hard on his ribcage. Then use your leg to kick his feet. I did it and he groaned and staggered back. I didn't want to let him go so easily, so I decided to practice my skills with him. I kicked him across his masked face and pushed him abruptly to the ground. Me, who sent you? He groaned and tried to stand up. I kicked him on his neck and he almost choked. He quickly removed his mask and held his red face. Me, ha, bad boy. Bad boy, help me up. I hesitated because I wasn't sure if it was truly him. Why would he waylay me? He stood up by himself and groaned again. Bad boy, my rib cage hurts so bad. First time I'm being hit there. He looked at my face and smiled. Bad boy, you passed the first test. Me, you followed me all the way here? Gosh. He chuckled and took the bag. Me, how are we going to get home? There are no taxis. Bad boy, I'm responsible for that. Don't ask me how. I gasped. How did he stop vehicles from coming in? Me, so we're trekking home? Bad boy, why should we? He pointed to a green flashy car across the street. Bad boy, come on. I smiled and followed him across the street and entered the car. He started it and zoomed off. ... To be continued. What do you think about her? She learns fast, doesn't she?